I was watching the video. Every time I watch it, I see something new.
Oh,
Don't
what'd you see
you
this
see
time?
that look that Matthew has at the end of the video where he's like,
Yeah,
that's kind of like his general attitude toward us all the time.
I
Like,
know.
like what the hell?
And then he goes,
Yeah, like what am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? I'm just gonna deal with it. I can't even hear. Let me turn my volume up. All right. So here we are at the Crystal Clear Point Studios for Miles of Smiles events. I'm Deborah Colleen Rose. This is Lulu Morris.
yes,
Or
I'm opening a gift.
uh-oh, what is it?
Uh, red clover extract, wild yam extract, and forest grown black cohosh root extract.
Are you going to use that for one of your concoctions or your witch's brews?
This is for my uh wild yam lotion
So that's for menopause crap and PMS
for
crap,
your
right?
midlife crisis.
My whole life has been a crisis. What are you talking about? If you will notice, we're missing a face. Matthew is off on a journey today. And so normally we wait till all three of us can be together because we're talking again, watch out. And it's always the three of us. But I wanted to jump in today and not miss any momentum on talking about the solar eclipse because I had a very weird experience. And I
Oh,
wanted to talk to Luann and see what she thought about it and just kind of put things out there. So, where were you yesterday during the eclipse?
I was in the parking lot in front of my condo where I could sit on a ledge there with it's a little rock flower bed and uh, got got my glasses out and went for about an hour. And when I was done, I was like, oh my God. But um the clouds were really sweet yesterday. And every time I'd say, I can't see anything, all of a sudden it would part and I'd get to see glimpses of I did see it move all the way over so you can see that ring. What are they calling that?
A ring of fire. I fell into that burning ring of
I
fire.
don't know, but it was very, very impressive. And they said that you could take your glasses off then. And I did, and I shot a couple of pictures. And in the pictures I shot, some of it just looked like it was flaring out.
Yeah, I saw a little bit of that myself yesterday too. I had a really weird experience. I was at one of our regular clients doing a gig. They have parties for everything. Package of
Yeah.
gum, we're going to open it. Let's have a party. So and they're so kind to let one or all of us come out there and be a part of that. So I was there yesterday, and I was under a little canopy tent doing something fun. I got to talk about this for just 2 seconds. So I have a new system I use. I do angel oracle card readings on a regular basis, but I thought, I get bored. So I'm always looking at ways to do things differently and add a little more fun to it because even though we're delivering inspirational messages, it's supposed to be fun and entertaining too, and maybe a little educational. So I was doing like 3 card pulls, and I call them my cold readings, and we just see what the cards are. And then I would give them a pendulum, and I have them in a nice little, gift bag and everything. And I pick a pendulum for them, and I show them how pendulums work. And I do it really quickly because, we got to move, 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 move. And then I do a spread with the animal totem spirit cards and pull out 3 cards, put them in a triangle shape, and then use their pendulum to pick one of the cards. And that's their main totem for the year, that they
Mhm.
can count on those characteristics and those powers and those concepts to be their strengths that they can pull from as they're going through the year. And so we were having a lot of fun with that. And I noticed it got really hot just before the eclipse was really starting. Got hot, hot, hot. And so I'm chugging water and everything. And I'm feeling like a little lightheaded, but I'm thinking, well, water, heat, whatever. And so everybody's oohing and awing as it starts getting dark. And And so I had my glasses and I got out and I would kind of look up, but I couldn't see anything. My glasses were too dark. They were too dark. So I'm like doing live video of the crowd and everything. And so when you could actually look up without the glasses, I did. And I got so sick. I got nauseated. I got vertigo. I couldn't look up because every time I would tilt my head, I'd be like, oh my God, I'm gonna pass out, And it was so dark, I couldn't even see the cards on the table.
Wow.
It was, how when we work at a nightclub or something and
Yeah,
it's light, but you can't see the car, so we have to have our little flashlights out.
right.
That's how dark it was right there. And I'm like, okay, well, it's hot, and maybe I haven't been drinking enough water, so I'm chugging water, chugging water. And so I left there about an hour and a half, about an hour later. And I'm walking up the hill that I go up all the time, and I had to stop twice. I was so dizzy. And I'm like, okay, maybe I need to eat. So Scott was there, my husband was there with me, and we went to a little restaurant right across the street to get a hamburger. And I literally had to like prop myself up on my purse like this, laying on the bench, because I was just ready to lay down and go to sleep. I was about to pass out. I couldn't even eat. I ate like 3 bites of my hamburger, and I'm like, we got to go home. And we came home, and I took a shower, and I laid down, and I was out for 3 hours,
Wow.
just out.
Well,
And
you,
but
sometimes looking up like this, you can cause yourself to have vertigo. So what I would do is compare what happened yesterday. Just go out and kind of look up for
oh, I don't
about,
have to. I still have vertigo. I still
you
have
still
it.
have it.
I still have it. I'm like, I mean, it's not as bad, and I don't hurt. I mean, I was, I was, it wasn't pain. It was like I was just dead tired. Like I was so tired and weak, I could barely lift my arms. So um, I slept really good last night, but Scott woke me up. He had a patient that passed last night, and so he called and we talked for a little bit, and I went back to a dead sleep, and I didn't get up till I slept a little late for me. I mean, it's not one late, but I slept late for me. And today I am higher than a cat. I am higher than a cat. Hello. No. I,
Without the aid of anything.
no. Without the aid of anything, I still have not extreme vertigo, but I feel sideways. Like this feels
Well,
normal to in this
I did
position.
I did get dizzy. I did feel kind of discombobulated after when the moon started moving away from the sun. But I thought it was just because I'd been looking up.
No, let me tell you what I found on the internet. I Google everything. Being a private investigator by nature and by profession, I research everything. When I was a kid, I used to live at the library, and I love looking things up, and I still do. So I'm Googling this, and I found one really well-written article, but I found several things about it based upon the eclipse in South America in 2017. And they all talked about how they felt like they were getting like and I love the way they described it, a factory reset.
Okay.
Because they talked about how as the eclipse started, they felt this overwhelming peace and calm and love and
Mm-hmm.
contentment. I did too. And I'm like, well, that's kind of weird, but being an empath, and I'm surrounded by all these people, and I know they're all in awe and stuff like. So I'm just crediting everything I feel instead of trying to analyze it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I'm coming up with, to me, what is the most obvious explanation.
Mm-hmm.
And like you, I'm like, okay, so I'm looking up and I'm a little hot, so that's what made me dizzy. But these people are talking about how they're very spiritually aware, very spiritually gifted, and they felt like with the alignment of God and the alignment of nature, they were getting a factory reset and it's not really a reset, it was like basically putting everything together for a big stew, and it was all coming together, and that they were getting an alignment of mind, body, and spirit, which we talk about all the time
Mm-hmm.
as being whole and holistic. And Mickey Klein, who we took the astrology class from last year, she PM'd me and said that this could go on for several months.
Oh,
And I'm like, oh hell, I'm not sure I like that much because I feel good, but I feel off centered. And I still felt really weak this morning, but I took, aspirin's like a miracle drug to me. I took some aspirin and I feel really good now, except I do feel like this is upright. This,
mhm.
in fact, I find myself walking through the house leaning.
Well, there is a certain amount of quiet that takes place when it gets totally dark. Um, I mean, all the street lights came on.
Oh, I
Uh,
didn't even think about that. Yeah. How
all the
cool is
street lights
that?
came on, and people's car lights came on, and when I looked across the street, when I thought, well, it's getting, it's dark now. No, there was just that few more minutes, and it was truly dark. The birds got quiet.
That was something that I noticed. There was like a herd, not a herd, a flock of birds that took off. We were close to the pool area, and I don't know where they had been hiding. And they took off flying just before the total darkness hit. I'm like, where are you going? It's dark. Why don't you just stay put? But they flew. And I don't know where they were going. Maybe they were seeking better shelter or higher shelter. I don't know.
What they
But
say is that it signals to animals that it's time to get ready for bed, and they were probably going to wherever they roosted.
oh, oh, that makes sense. That makes total sense. So the reason why I wanted to talk about this was not just because I had this really unexpected experience, is because I made fun of the solar eclipse all week last week. I'm like, I'm going between making fun of it and bitching about it. I'm like, what is everybody doing? What's the big deal? Why do we have 1 million people coming to Dallas? Keep your butts at home. Watch it on, I'm just, I'm just like, yes, it's a phenomenon, but it's just part of nature. And my big thing was I kept saying is that, the sun comes up every day and we take that for granted. You
Yeah.
know, the moon comes out and does its cycles every month, and we take that for granted. What's the
Hmm.
big friggin' deal here?
Hmm.
Okay. And then I have this experience. I'm like, I'm sorry, God. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to
Well,
make fun of nature.
it is very surreal. It's just
It,
everybody tells you what's going to happen. You watch it, you see it happen, and then you're like, wow, that is really quiet.
yeah, and I think that we were on what they call the lawn area of where I was. And I think there was at least 100 or more people on lawn chairs and blankets and different things. And it was really, even though I was working, so I didn't really get to experience the crowd, as a totality, but I could still have it in my peripheral spiritual vision, so to speak. Because I'm doing readings the whole time I'm there, except when it starts really getting dark and when the darkest part hit, and then I pick back up, because I'm there, I'm doing the job. But the crowd would go totally silent, and then they'd start cheering, yay, clapping and everything, and then they go totally silent again, and then they would cheer again, and I never could really figure out what they were cheering about, it just, and what the silence was, like, because I couldn't see exactly what was going on because I was under my little canopy
Hmm.
thing. And when I did try to look at the eclipse, I did poke out for just a second to look at it. I couldn't see it because my glasses were too dark. And I
Probably
could
just
see
weren't.
Venus.
Oh, oh, okay.
So
Well,
I
I
just,
didn't really, I was kind of, okay, there it is. All right, I see it.
well, I got it on some video because I just put my camera up and was doing all this around there. But when I would go to look, just as I could see Venus when I had my glasses on, but when I put the glasses on to go look, I'd go and I'd start to fall back, So I'm like, okay, you can't do this. I mean, it would
Yeah,
just get
exactly. Because
so
you have to look
crazy.
almost straight up to see it.
Yeah, and I couldn't do it. I just couldn't. And so I'm like, okay, I'm just go back to work and do my thing. And I did watch a little bit of the video, didn't get to do much, and you could see it just for a few seconds and stuff. But everybody else took such wonderful pictures. And I did look through a woman's camera when she was videotaping, and I got to see the corona,
Hmm.
and it was interesting to me. It actually looked like there was a bunch of fire spitting out of the sun.
Yes, there was.
And I'm like, okay, if I were like some kind of indigenous person back in the year 2000 BC, that would really be interesting and freaky,
Yeah,
you
because
know?
you wouldn't know what was going on. There wouldn't be a
No.
clue. And that's what they say about the animals, because they weren't here during the last eclipse.
But did you feel anything differently? Because I can't really say that on a spiritual realm, I felt differently, but it really affected me on a physical realm to the 10th degree.
Well, I had read that a lot of people cry because it's just so awe-inspiring. But I did feel a little, I, I didn't cry, but I did feel that, wow, I'm so glad I got to see this. I'm glad I'm out here in the middle of the parking
Yeah.
lot, so I don't know. It's just, it is surreal of it happening. And of course, when you're looking at it, it appears that the moon is going from west to east. And
Oh, I didn't.
I'm sure it's not, but that's the way it appears.
So,
And
yeah.
because
I wonder why.
when I was watching it, the moon looked like it was going this way. And in my front yard, that would be west to east. And it doesn't move that way.
Huh. Well, we need to Google that.
Because
Let's get the Google out.
it's just like the sun. It comes up in the east and
Yeah.
sets in the west.
Yeah. I was surprised I kept seeing Venus. I was like, what the hell, Venus, go home. This is not your day. But I could pick that out so clearly, for several hours. But the thing that really that gets me today, the more I think about it, is that while I could feel the symptoms coming on as the eclipse began, they didn't peak during the eclipse. They peaked several hours afterward. And then here I am today, still feeling the residual of it. Um, I don't feel like I feel anything differently spiritually. But with that said, yesterday during my event when I was working, I always feel like people react to me like they know I see them,
Hmm.
and they
Hmm.
appreciate being seen.
Hmm.
Yesterday, it felt more of a full circle. They knew that I saw them, but they were starting to see who I was,
Hmm.
is the best way to explain it. It's like everyone that sat down there knew I had authority to speak to them, knew that they could trust me, no doubts, no questions. And the questions they did ask were, they just wanted to know me better. It just
Okay.
felt more full circle, for lack of a better explanation.
Well, you have been there more this year, so people recognize you.
No, these are all new people. I hadn't
Really?
read for any of these people, any
Wow.
of, because I asked them, because that was my first thought after the first two or three people. I'm like, well, maybe I've just, I'm seeing them again. No, none of them had even known that I had ever been there, even though I've
Well,
been going there for 2 years.
that's
So this was,
amazing then.
yeah. But it's a large place. I mean, there's
Yeah.
thousands of people that live there. So, I mean, from a statistics standpoint, that's not surprising. Um, However, I was surprised because it became like a thing. I was asking everybody, have I read for you before? No, no, you know, and but it just the trust and the contentment and the relaxed attitude of everybody was, I don't know, it was just really refreshing, I guess is the best word
Yeah.
to describe it. So
I've noticed that of the people who live there too, that they don't come with a preconceived notion.
no, they don't, do they?
No, and they seem very open energetically.
Well, they're very hungry, I think is a good word. I mean, and not like in a way that they're starving and, they're desperate, but it's like, oh, the appetizers were good. I can't wait to see what the soup's going to be for the next course. That type of hungry.
Mhm.
And I love going to events at this location. Love, 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 love. And so I sometimes I think, well, I should just pay them to let me come. But I'm not going to.
Well, a lot of people in February when we were there 3 weeks in a row. Well, are you coming back next week? I said, no, but I think that if you know the people who run the program, you should tell them that you want us here once a week, once a month.
Well, and what was interesting is that next to me was a young lady that was doing the henna tattoos,
Mhm.
and we were talking, and I don't know why I started the conversation in this direction, but I started talking to her about Florida water and about the history of Florida water, and how much I liked it because it was a nice subtle way to clean your hands and clean things when you're out in public, and it smells good. And I got the bottle out to show her out of my suitcase, and I let her smell it, and she teared up a little bit. She goes, "This smells like my grandfather." And she knew all about the Florida water, and her mother had used it, and she's on the phone calling her mom going, Mom, I need some of this. And her mom's ordering it for her on Amazon because I told us where I got it and stuff. But it was a real interesting conversation that we had that kind of little item to connect with, because she's
Right.
much younger than I am, but we had a point of reference to talk and things like that.
Now, I use it the same way. Not only will the alcohol in the Florida water kind of, take care of the germs, but it breaks up the energy from the last person.
Oh, I know why I brought it up, because we were talking about how it was getting hotter. And I said,
Mhm.
this is a great way to stay cool. I said, the baseball players in Florida used to use this to do this back in the early 1900s, which is one of the reasons why they call it Florida water now. And I said, you can splash it on the back of your neck and up your arms. And I said, I wind up taking a bath in it generally because it smells good and it cools you off. That's how the whole thing got started. So, it was just interesting, the conversation and the outcome and everything. So,
Well, that is the other surprise that when it went totality came, that you could tell how much cooler it was.
yeah, why was that? I mean,
Because
seriously.
the moon is blocking the heat.
Well, we need to hire her to do that more often. I'm thinking, boy, this would be great on a Texas afternoon. Just
In July.
Yeah. Where are you, Moon? Mrs. Moon, Mrs. Moon. Shine your light on me. We had a song we sang like that in elementary school. We used to sing goofy songs. Oh, Mr. Moon, Moon, bright and shiny moon, won't you please shine down on me? That stuck in my head. Oh, I may have to sing the whole song to get rid of.
Oh my God. Well,
Well, the songs were always violent back then too. You know what I'm saying? Like Rockabye Baby on the treetop. When the wind blows, the cradle will rock. When the bough breaks, the cradle will fall. Down will
uh,
come baby. Cradle. And I'm always thinking, what if it kills the baby?
yeah.
What kind of song is that?
Well,
Crap.
Jack and Jill fell down and broke their crown.
Oh, they should have been. They should. What were they doing out there running around without any supervision? Jack was up to no good. You know it.
Yeah. And I don't know. They say a lot of the nursery rhymes like that are somehow put together because of political.
Yeah, they're all political based. And it
Yeah.
was a way to criticize the government without getting in trouble
Yeah.
because they didn't have true free speech. I think we have too much free speech in this country. you know?
Well, I just I, I saw a blurb on that. Were you the one telling me about the movie called Civil War?
Yes, I can't wait to it comes out next week. I can't wait to see that. It's
So
terrifying.
they had a blurb on that on Sunday morning, CBS Sunday morning, and I think that's what it was. And they said that the the premise is that Texas and California secedes.
Yes,
And so the
yes,
fight is between California, Texas, and the rest of the United States.
yes. And who are the real Americans? That's the question. Who are the
Yes.
real Americans?
And the guy was standing there with the gun. He says, "What kind of Americans are y'all?" And
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, "Oh, shoot."
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
What does that mean?
I mean, the only reason I say that it's terrifying is that it's not hard, at least for me, to imagine that we're 10 steps away from going that direction if we keep sliding down this slippery slope of people being so angry. And but let me tell you, okay, you brought this crap up, so this is your fault.
This is my
I
fault.
I saw on the news last week, and you're just like, how stupid and how childish can these grown people be? So the Republicans put a bill out on the table to change the name of some stupid bridge to Trump Bridge. Why does he need a bridge? Maybe because it's going to fall down and they want to name it before it falls. I don't know. But anyway, so to retaliate, the Democrats put a bill out to change the name of a federal prison to Trump Prison. Okay, I get the irony, I get the sarcasm, I get all that. But don't they have better things to be doing?
Of course they do.
Don't they have a country they need to be running?
Yes, they do.
Are they
But
wasting my money and your money? Yes, they are.
yes, they are.
You know, and you're just like, okay, you continue with this stuff. I can understand people getting so angry that it might get violent because they're not as gifted and uplifting as you and I are.
Well, I was really afraid of what was going to happen at the border when we were having all that at that park that was,
It's
and
not over yet either. It's not
no, and
over.
I was just thinking, oh my God, if somebody says the wrong thing, are they going to shoot each other?
Well,
I mean,
the,
one
we
is
kind of have
supporting
that
the wrong
going on in the
thing.
streets right now anyway, when you read and it's these people getting shot at parties and things. And I'm not assuming that they're all politically based, but somebody says something that somebody doesn't like, and then somebody says something back to them. And next thing you know, they're shooting. Okay. People are not in control of their emotions anymore.
No,
You can't run society with emotion.
no. And, my son was a security guard for a long time. And he also worked security over at Encore Wire in McKinney. And one time I was saying something about, I want to carry my gun. He goes, Mom, you can carry it, but if you draw it, then you're escalating whatever it is that's happening
Mhm.
just by drawing your gun.
That's true. Scott and I have that conversation a lot because I used to carry all the time, being in investigations, going into parts of the state that, I had no idea what I was going into, working in, high crime areas. And also people would just really get pissed off if they ever find out they're being investigated, and you never know. So, I've never had to pull my gun on anyone, but it was always nice to know I had it. I've had guns pulled on me, and thank God I have the gift of gab, and I have a 30-foot angel that puts words in my mouth that I've been able to talk my way out of those situations. But I quit carrying my gun. I just don't even want that to be an option. I'm I know a lot of people will just laugh, and I don't care. I don't care. I just figured that since I had that near death experience or death experience, however you want to classify, because I do think I was dead for 21 minutes, but I'm not going to argue with people that don't believe me, is that uh if it's time for me to die, it's my time to die, and hopefully God's there protecting me and doesn't want me to die. But if he does, I wish he'd pick another way than me getting shot to do it, because I don't think that's pleasant. But I don't want to know that I've wounded or hurt or killed somebody.
Right, because you're responsible for that ammunition. It's your
Yes.
responsibility. And once it
And
leaves the end of your gun, where is it going?
well, and when my kids were little, I wouldn't hesitate. And if my kids were still little, I don't think I would feel quite that way because I am a mother bear. I am going to protect my loved ones. I'm that way about my husband. I'm that way about my children. I'm that way about my grandchildren, you know? And yes, I would kill for them. I would. I'll admit it. But I don't feel the need to kill for myself.
Well, we were out in the country and the neighbors shot off a shotgun at the dog
Mm.
that where we were staying. And I did pull my gun, but when I went out, I had it right behind my leg, you know, because I didn't know what was going on out there.
Well, you were trying to defend yourself. I think everyone should defend themselves. I don't have a problem with anybody carrying a gun. I'm not saying I am anti-gun. This is a personal decision for me. And there are occasional times I will take it with me if I know I am going to be in an unsafe environment. Not, and my idea is not so much that I'm going to protect myself, but I might need to protect someone else. So I mean, here's an example of what I'm talking about. I was doing some bounty hunting years ago, and I had this skitsy guy. His name was Bill. All my people were named Bill, it seems like. And I put this man in jail all the time, and he would bring me, have one of his people bring me cash. He was a drug dealer, and I would do his bond over and over and over. So I went to his apartment to get him. I'm like, Bill, what is wrong with you? I mean, it was so bad. People would beg me to take him to jail because they got tired of me bitching at them. They go, can you just take me to jail? Do I have to listen to the lecture? And depending on how mad I was, yeah, sometimes they had to listen to the lecture. So anyway, I'm cuffing him because he has to be cuffed for me to take him in, or they won't take him if he's not cuffed. So I'm cuffing him before I put him in the car, and all of a sudden I feel something just like knock me in the back of my head. And I just took a deep breath and I said, Bill, there's a gun in my head. Who is here? And he goes, oh my God, Tom. He goes, it's just Deborah. Put the damn pistol down. He goes, if you shoot her, nobody will do my bond. I'm like, that's right. That's pretty right. So I mean, I have a lot of stories like that, where they could be very serious and they turn out to be jokes. I mean, we all laughed about it. And I took Tom's gun away from him and I did slap him in the face. I said, Tom, I want you to remember who I am and don't ever do that again. Because I will be back. He goes, are you going to take me to jail? I'm like, no, I'm not. I could, though. I could file charges against you and take you to jail. But I'm sure with the way you act, you'll be there soon enough. And I will be your bondsman because Bill will pay your bond, but don't ever friggin' do that again. Yeah. So that's kind of the story of my life.
Well, yeah,
You can tell I'm antsy today, though. I can't sit still.
no, you're moving all the time. Well, I did yesterday during the eclipse. I always have that tingling sensation across my head.
Yeah.
And uh that's really where I feel my intuition, shall we say, when something happens or something is about to happen, I get that tingling. And I did get that yesterday.
Well, here's my whole issue, I guess. It's my issue about just me, is that I hate to get caught up in drama of, and I feel this way about regardless of what religious or spiritual preference, but when people have these pat answers like the devil made me do it. No, the devil didn't make you do it. Your desire to have 5 too many brownies is what made you do it. Or, when everybody has all these chakra explanations, and
Mhm.
just I call it just jive talk. It's just jive talk, depending on where your focus is. I don't like pat answers. So I'm always asking questions and I'm always trying to break it apart. I do feel different though. I don't know why. I don't know what it means. And it could just, it could be something just as simple as the sun is energy. The moon is lower energy, but it's all energy, and that's an electromagnetic fields that we're crossing. And you
Right.
know how sensitive I am to electromagnetic fields.
More
And
so
so,
than most.
Yeah, I am, and that's been documented by doctors. I'm not talking crap here. Okay. Are you proud of me? I haven't said the F word all day today. So I have ADHD spiritually today. So it may be that this is just my body reacting to electromagnetic fields. It could it so I'm not trying to read too much in it, but at the same time, I don't want to ignore it and receive whatever it is that I can receive if there's something to get there. You know what I'm saying? So I'm still analyzing.
Well, and I did kind of, wow, I'm just so in awe of what's happening, and it's amazing that it happens, and it happened by chance this time to across the United States. So it's always dependent on how the planets are moving, how the moon and the sun intersect.
Well, and it did have another effect on me. This will make you laugh. There's an ad on Facebook about you can buy this round circular emblem, and it can either be a necklace or it can be a bracelet, and you give them the date and the year, and they will draw out the diagram of the stars constellation on one side, and on the other side, they will give you the location by coordinates and the
Yep.
date.
Yep.
So I bought one. But I didn't buy for the eclipse date. I bought it for, oh, well, actually, I bought two. Yes, I bought two. I bought one for the date that Scott and I met because we both felt like everything lined up for us that day. We had to clear out relationships and clutter to be together, but we both knew that the day we met that we were going to be together in some form or fashion. And we even hand fasted before we could legally marry. And then I got another one that has all of that on there for the date we got married, and I got them in bracelet forms. So I'm more of a romantic than I let people think I am.
Well, that's kind of cool, actually.
It is cool, isn't it? I got them in sterling silver, and I bought the two because there was a discount if you bought two. So I got two
Okay, there you go.
because I'm a sucker for a bargain.
Well, I always thought I would get one for where I was born. You know.
It's interesting. It's
Mhm.
interesting. I mean, whether you believe it or not, some of this stuff is just interesting. It's like Greek mythology. I don't believe in Greek gods, but I love Greek mythology and Roman mythology. I don't believe in it, but it's still interesting how it came about, the stories around it and stuff like that. So you don't have to believe in things to find them interesting.
Well, I find it interesting that my mom lived in Iowa and came here to have me in Pilot Point, Texas. And I never left Texas.
Did she come here to hide the pregnancy,
Yes,
or
yes.
what made her come to Pilot Point to hide it though? Was her family there or what?
No, the home that was there, Rest Cottage, was owned by uh, Nazarene Church.
Oh, so she went to a lady's home, unwed
Yeah,
mother's home.
and she was a Nazarene. That's why her mother brought her here.
Oh, I haven't known any Nazarenes in years.
Mhm.
They're pretty staunch.
I actually had a cousin that was Nazarene pastor.
They're pretty
So that,
strict, aren't they? If my memory serves me right, they're pretty strict.
yes, and since I was a heathen, I guess, I when I was a kid, I was allowed to wear shorts. I mean, but they did not allow their children to wear shorts. Well,
That's right. That's right. They were
I,
like Pentecostals without a sense of humor.
I wouldn't go that far, but all right.
Well, I
I
mean,
think
they were very straight
I
laced.
think Uncle Jim had a great sense of humor, but
Well,
but
don't take
it
it
was
personally.
it was uh when they lived in Wichita Falls and we lived 30 minutes away, so I would go over there and we would go by every time we would go over there. And they said, "Why don't you stay and go to church with us tomorrow?" And I was like, "I'm wearing shorts." What? He goes, "I don't care."
Well, see, he had a good heart and he knew what was right.
Yeah.
You knew it was right. Gosh, I remember growing up. God, you got me going down this now. So we didn't have pantyhose. We had stockings, but you had to be a certain age to wear stockings. However, now this cracks me up. Think about it. You see, you're 9, 10, and 11, and you can wear fishnet hose with your dresses to church. Now that's what hookers wear. So at 9 and 10 years of age, you're having to wear a garter belt because you got to have something to hold those fishnet hose with. And I hated those things. They cut into your leg. I mean, they were like fishnets. They were just big, thick
Right.
threads. And no matter what you did, your toes would poke through those fishnet holes
Yeah.
and be cutting the circulation off. I swear to you, I don't have any circulation in my big toe because of that. I swear to you. And wearing those garter belts, oh my God.
Yeah.
So, they always show you, okay, this is the other thing that bugs me about, how little things in movies that aren't correct will bug you.
Yep.
When they show women wearing garter belts over their panties, that's not correct because it is almost impossible to pull your panties down to go wee wee if the garter belt is on top of them. The garter belt goes underneath the panties so you can pull the panties down and the garter belt stays up and your hose stay in place. But they don't show it that way because that's not as sexy looking. And that just annoys me no end.
Okay.
Have you ever noticed that?
Yes. Well, no, I never have.
No?
No.
Well, I guess I'm watching the wrong movies. I know.
No, I'm sorry. I just don't pay any attention to that sort of thing in the movies.
Oh, I do. I do. And the other thing is that people brush their teeth in movies and they don't spit. Oh my God. How do they do that? They don't spit. They don't do any of that stuff. There's nothing dribbling out of their mouth. I'm sorry. I look like I've got hydrophobia,
Yeah.
when I'm
Yeah. I
brushing my
always
teeth.
have toothpaste everywhere, but yeah.
Hydrophobia. That's from Old Yeller. He's got the hydrophobia.
Foaming at the mouth.
Yeah, that's what it looked like. Foaming at the mouth. Bite you. I am wound up today.
Yes, you are.
You should take
Well,
me out dancing.
take you out what?
Dancing.
Oh, God, no. Oh, God, no. Thanks.
There's a woman on Facebook that does character videos. She's a comedian, and her name is Casey Dressler, and I know you've seen it. And
Yeah.
one of her characters is a hairdresser from the 80s. And she goes, "All right, sugar plum, queen of goddess, blah, 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 blah. I'm gonna pump up your chair." And she's just a pumping up that chair.
Mhm.
I love it. I watch it just to watch her boobs jiggle. Yeah, yeah, she got that fake cigarette.
Yeah.
She's fun. She's good. We need more people like that. All right. Anything else we want to add to this silliness today? Because it's just been silly.
Well, I guess I want to thank the powers that be in the heavens for a lovely yesterday.
Yeah.
And
Do you have any
sending,
words of encouragement for people because of that?
well, I just think that we should always be thankful for the awesome things we get to see. I mean, that cost nothing to see, but it was awe-inspiring.
Right.
Think
Right.
that that can happen. So, yeah.
So here's my words of encouragement. There's always a ring of hope, and you should be happy to have a ring unless it's a ring around the collar.
Yeah. Okay.
I just made that up right now.
Right. Of course.
Doesn't surprise you at all, does it?
No.
All right. Tell them where to find you, Lou.
You can find me at Luann, Luann, at ancientherbalapothecary.com.
How many syllables is that?
Ancient herbal apothecary. Is that 8?
.com. So that's 10.
Yeah. Okay. 10.
.com.
Well, it's a little bit wordy, but AHA was already taken.
Well, 10's a good number though.
Oh, okay.
I
I
like
didn't.
it better than I do 8.
Well, I'm hoping that the changes I've made to the website today um will help Mr. Pierce say, why don't
Dr.
we just,
Pierce.
huh?
Dr. Pierce.
Yes, Dr. Pierce will say, why don't we just put that out there? I'm afraid to put it out there, but I need to get it out there.
Just get it out there. Put it out there. Shake it up.
Take it up.
I don't have any boobs anymore, so this doesn't really impact anybody anymore. It used to, it was like getting the whole world going.
Well,
All right. We miss you, Dr. Pierce, Dr. Matthew Pierce. We miss you and we look forward to seeing you. And I'm Deborah Colleen Rose at Miles of Smiles Events, our sponsor. We're Inspired Intuitive Entertainment. And I also have ISGU.com, private investigation company. One way or the other, we'll get you some information so you can make good decisions, one way or the other. So we're talking again. Watch out, and we will see you guys later.
bye
Bye.
now.